Hey, Mama. So today's episode is actually one of the episodes from the Visibility Accelerator private podcast. And so in the private podcast series, I interview a couple of mamas who have started leveraging collaborations to accelerate their visibility and grow their audience with their dream clients. And yes, these are a couple of the mamas who are inside of the Social Media Detox Club. And so in the interview that I'm sharing today, I chat with Jill Lerman, who booked over 10 podcast interviews and a bunch of other collaborations in less than 2 months. Like, talk about accelerated visibility, right? So you're going to be able to hear directly from Jill, like what her experience has been trying to grow her business on Instagram and referrals only, and just how much that was a challenge for her. And then how she was able to shift things after she joined the Social Media Detox Club and really start leveraging collaborations as part of her visibility and lead generation strategy. And it's been so pivotal for her business growth and as well as just her being able to be the present mama that she desires to be. So I know you are going to get a lot out of this interview. Like I said, she shares so much insight into her journey that I know a lot of you are going to resonate with it. All right, let's jump into today's episode. Hey, mama. Are you tired of feeling stressed and overwhelmed trying to grow your online business with your babies at home? You desire more flexibility in your day, allowing you to pour into your family, yourself, and your business without running yourself into the ground. Mama, you can build your dream business and do it in a way that fits your current season of life. And I'm going to show you exactly how. Welcome to the Mama Turned Mompreneur podcast. I'm your host, Andrea Singletary, daughter of the king, wife, mama of two, and life and business coach for mompreneurs. On this podcast, you will learn business strategies made for mamas just like you, who desire to be successful CEOs and fully present mamas without stress or overwhelm. So whether you're an entrepreneur who transitioned to a mompreneur or a mama turned mompreneur, I am here to support you. So grab your coffee, notebook, and pen, put in those earbuds, and let's dig in. Hi, Jill. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. So today we're just sitting down to chat a little bit about your experience inside of the Social Media Detox Club and really just sharing about what changes you've seen in like your visibility and marketing since joining and just your overall experience. So before we get started, please tell everyone, about yourself, who you are, and what you do.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Jill Lerman. I'm an early childhood educator, a play and parenting coach, play expert, and a mom. My goal is to empower parents and caretakers that are feeling overwhelmed, and help them find more joy, more connection, and engagement with their children through simple prompts to play and create. Really looking to help parents just find more joy in parenting. And yeah, I do that through one-on-one private coaching. I also have a low-cost monthly membership and a podcast as well.
All right. So before we started working together, what strategies were you using to get visible and to generate leads for your business?
Yeah, so social media, specifically Instagram, was really the primary place that I was using for trying to gain new clients and just to reach and to share my offers. That can be quite frustrating
Yeah.
as the algorithm is ever changing. And, I kind of feel at the mercy of it a lot of the time. But that's really the primary place. And then in addition to that, a lot of word of mouth referrals. I also live in a community that has a lot of parents, many of which I have worked with. So there's a lot of referral that happens that way. I'll speak at local mom groups and events like that as well. But Instagram is really the primary source of clients for me.
Okay. I love that you didn't just rely on Instagram. You were leveraging like your own community and looking at what you could do locally. I think that's amazing and really smart. But you were seeing, with Instagram, you felt like you were at the mercy of the algorithm.
Yeah.
So how was Instagram working for you when you were like really leaning into that as your way to find clients?
Yeah. So I think, again, it's, that I keep coming back to this idea of at the mercy, at times great. And at other times, not so great. And often I felt I was showing up consistently and, really trying to put out that content that, typically would resonate with my community, at that, and at times would get me that visibility and get the message out there, get the offers out there. And then some weeks it just wouldn't. And I was doing all the things that I thought were like the quote right things and the right timing for my audience. And again, that showing up, that consistency. And it just wasn't always happening for me. And that was really, really frustrating. I also feel like as I'm not only running my business, but I'm also the primary caretaker of my daughter who is currently having, well, it looks like not nap time, but quiet time. And we're in purgatory. So some days it goes one way, some the other. And so I also am, juggling that. And that is always the top priority for me, which meant sometimes I couldn't be as present on my social as maybe I could at other times. And that was really stressful because feeling like, oh my gosh, if I don't get this post out or if I don't show up on stories at this time, then people are not going to know. Or, I have this thing dropping and that means I have to do it every day, but I can't do it today because my daughter's sick. And, just the different things that come up when you're juggling mom life and a business. So I was really looking for just additional ways so that I wasn't only counting on one app to bring people in. And furthermore, as I grow and I'm growing the things that I'm offering, I also want to get new eyes and not just, of course, like I want to still be connected to my community and the people that have been with me for many years. But I'm also in a business where I work with a certain age population and certain kids grow and they age out of it. And then I'm looking for new people to come in that could use my resources. So that was another thing that was on my mind of wanting to kind of expand past just this one source.
Yeah. I really like that you brought up the unpredictability of social media because it's so true. Like you can be doing so amazing and, getting that engagement and different things like that. And then all of a sudden it just stops and it's like, you haven't
Yeah.
changed nothing.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. I'm like, this is like the same kind of post that last week or the week before performed great. Why is no one seeing it? And as I also find, I don't know if you've found this as well, that because there's always shifts happening as to how people are seeing your content and who is seeing your content. Sometimes the people that have been with me the longest, that are the most engaged, I'm not showing up in their feed. And like, then I'll get a message that's like, wait, I never saw you posting about this. And I was like, I've been posting about it every day. Like, but they're just not seeing it. So there's that piece of it too that's so tricky.
yeah, definitely. And even how you mentioned too, for you as a mom and a business owner, when something's going on with your daughter, you may not be able to show up and thinking about your clients who you serve, they
Yeah,
may not realistically be
that's
able
right.
to like scroll
That's
on
right.
Instagram and whatnot
Totally.
too.
Yeah,
So it's like really all these different factors, again, creating that unpredictability when you rely on it.
that's right.
Yeah. So what made you decide to join the social media detox club when you did?
Yeah. So actually, I had been following your account on social, um, funny enough. And I I believe we followed each other. And then you had done a challenge, like an independent play challenge that I had put out in my community. And then we started messaging back and forth about that, about other things. And you were saying, like, I hope this is okay, but I have some ideas like around your bed. And I was like, yes, by all means. And through that, you had mentioned that you were going to be offering this masterclass. And I was like, I 100% want to see what that's all about. And, ended up joining and there learned about this membership that you had started. And it just felt like, and I'm sure many of the members in the membership felt this way. It felt like you were just speaking directly to me with a lot of what you were sharing. And so many of the frustrations that I had been experiencing, relying pretty much solely on social media. That was definitely a piece where I was like, oh my gosh, yes, yes, yes. But also because I had been looking at and wanting to grow in other ways, but I just didn't know how. Like I'm following, and seeing these other creators that I really enjoy, other entrepreneurs whose content I really enjoy, and I would see them being part of summits and bundle contributions and different partnerships or guesting on podcasts, all these different things. And I was like, I want to do more of that. I just don't know how to. And I felt like you were offering the tools and the knowledge that would help me be able to do that and expand into some of these other arenas and, just get what I'm doing out there more past just my Instagram account and, of course, my local community. So yeah, I just, after watching and taking part in that masterclass, I was just like, I feel like exactly what I need and what I've been looking for and couldn't find.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like when we join the online space, like we're told we need to start with social media and a lot of focus is on social media.
Yeah.
Yet you see, like you said, a lot of the bigger names, you see them doing these different things. And
Yeah.
sometimes we may think like, oh, well, I'm not there yet. So maybe I'm not supposed to do those things
Right.
yet. When in
Right.
reality, like you have so much to offer other people's audiences, but it's like learning how do you do it? Like, where do I
Yep.
find these
That's
opportunities?
right.
But also, how do I make these opportunities actually work for me? And I
Exactly.
see results from it and everything. So, what would you say are some of like the biggest results you got working together inside of the membership so far?
I know. And I think it's worth mentioning, like, this has not been over a very long period of time.
No,
So
just
when
launched
I
in June.
so when I share, like, I just want people to be clear about that. Like when I'm about to share, this is even just in like a month and change. Um, I think for one, just having a system for staying organized. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. You offered this collaboration tracker as a tool. And I've been using it not only for the types of collaborations that we're talking about. I also do a lot of brand partnership work and content creation in that arena. I've been using this tool that you've created to help me stay organized across all of my partnerships and collabs. And um, it's really helpful not only just to know, hey, this is when this goes live. This is when I'm going to start talking about this. This is when my content is due, all of those logistical pieces, but also for me to then have the information of, hey, this one, came and went. Who did I gain into my community from that? Which I guess is a good transition into the next thing, which is that you teach all these amazing and very digestible, I might add. Like I can have my one AirPod in as I'm unloading the dishwasher or tending to other things as I'm listening to them. But all this information about not only how do you get these collaborations, and I'll touch on that too in a second, but also like how do you then use this to your advantage? So you're actually then bringing people into community, and how do you track that? And different methods for doing that. So having that information is really helpful because that also is like, okay, this worked really well for me. This not so much. Let's kind of look at why. Was it just not a good match? Were there things that maybe I could do that would help me bring more people in so I can look at that for next time? If something is really successful, then I could be like, I'd love to collaborate with that person again, or this type of offering is really great for, this audience. it just allows you to really not only be putting this stuff out there, but then having the information that can help you continue to grow in future collaborations. Um, and yeah, then I guess the other thing that comes to mind is just where to find these things, which for me at the start was like, kind of my biggest thing is like, I'd love to do this stuff. I even have some thoughts on what I could speak about or what I could offer. I just don't know where they are. Like, where are these people? And you have such amazing resources available to us in the membership where you're breaking down and updating regularly what these opportunities are, how you apply to them, what type of person would be really right for this. And then furthermore, through our one-on-one day in Voxer and also just through the other support that you offer in the Slack group, both individually and to the group, have helped me widen who that audience is and what kind of opportunities I could be right for. I think because I work in the play and parenting space, certain things seem really clear and really obvious, right? Topics that are on, parenting, bundles that are centered around play or, things of that nature. But you've also helped me realize I'm also a mompreneur that uses play as a tool to help me run my business. I mean, independent play is a lifeline for me and many of my clients. So through the conversations we've had and our work together, you've also helped me market myself to be a guest blogger, to be part of bundle collaborations that are geared toward entrepreneurs as well, which was never a space that I thought I was right for. When I would see something like that, I typically would have been like, oh, well, that's for, a business coach or a marketing person but I've actually found no, what I have to offer actually can be really helpful in those spaces. So it's really opened my eyes to also the types of collaborations that I can be a part of.
Yes, I love all of that. One, I love how you're utilizing the collab tracker. I actually created that for myself because I would find myself applying for all these collaborations and not really keeping track of like
Yeah,
the dates. And then I would have like
totally.
three collaborations at the same time. It's like, why did I do this to myself? And
Totally.
so I created for to hold myself accountable, but I love that you've been able to use it not just for the collaborations that you're finding inside of the membership, but also these brand partnerships
Hmm.
that you're doing because we
Hmm.
do have to think about our audience too. We don't want to be just constantly throwing this stuff at them.
Yeah.
They get overwhelmed. And so it really, like you said, it really helps you stay organized and looking at like whether or not this is even a good time for you to participate in this collaboration or not. And
Yeah.
then even just track the results,
Yeah.
how many people are joining your email list, from it, whether or not that resource was a great resource for that type of collaboration, whether or not that topic, for that speaking engagement or guesting on the podcast was ideal for that audience and
Yeah.
everything. And then the directory is one of my favorite things too, again, to kind of keep me held accountable as I'm finding these opportunities for you guys. I'm applying for them too, because I still
Yeah.
have to prioritize my visibility
That's
as
right.
well. And so I just seeing your progress and even how we really were able to expand your reach because what you have to offer is so important for work from home parents. Like you had mentioned about your challenge. That challenge was so helpful for me with both of my kids, even though they're different, they're 2 years apart. I still been able to incorporate those strategies and actually be able to get work done during the
So
day.
awesome. I love
Because-
hearing that. I love
yes.
hearing that.
But it's like as parents, we're not thinking about like, oh wait, I can actually teach my child to play independently
Yes, that's right.
and it's needed. Like you literally can increase your productivity as a work from home mom or
Yep.
dad or whatever
Yeah.
when your kids are playing independently. You don't
Yeah.
have to entertain
100%.
them
And
24/7.
and nor should we be. I mean, I feel like this is
Yes.
this is probably a different topic for another podcast, but like that it actually is so beneficial for them and that they need that time. So we're really not only giving ourselves that gift, but we're giving them a gift. And I feel like when we realize that and know how to kind of put that into place, it greatly improve just even the energy of our home, our stress level. So I love that you saw value in that and that it's helped you. That means so much.
Yes, yes. So as we wrap up, I would love to know, like, what do you feel like are the 2 to 3 things that really led to you being able to achieve these results? Like you shared some amazing wins that you've experienced. And like you said, the membership, it hasn't even been a full 2 months yet
Yeah.
since it's been launched. But
Yeah.
what do you really feel like helped you achieve those results?
I think that part of it is like kind of in my nature, my personality. If someone gives me the blueprint and the tools, I will take it and I will do it step by step, and I will do it. I'll run with it. And you have given us those tools, so I feel like for me, I just didn't know how to get there. And once the road was kind of clear and the path was clear and the steps were clear, I just followed them and it all was happening. I think it's worth mentioning. I know we touched on a couple of them, but I have at this point been accepted into every single thing that I've applied from that you've shared. Everyone, guest
Okay.
blogging, summit, bundle collaborations. I've guested on in the last couple of weeks 10 different podcasts and counting, and all of them have come from either from your directory or from a group that you gave us in the directory that then led to more opportunities. Um, but I just want to mention that in a month and a half, I've seen that much momentum just by doing exactly what you said to do and just using the opportunities that you're putting out there. Um, yeah, I think that the biggest thing is that I just needed to understand the way, and you have shown us the way. And I think the other thing that we didn't quite touch on, but you really gave um, clear, and there was a lot of work kind of on the front end, but I feel like now that it's done about like how to then convert people into being a part of your community and on your mailing list. So it's not just about the resources that you create for these different collaborations. It's about, okay, how do we then take that and bring them in here with our welcome sequence, with, how we kind of gear them toward the appropriate offerings. So I feel like that too has been such a key part of this, because it isn't enough to just take part in these things. You then have to kind of know what to do to then convert people into members of your community and potential customers. And you really walk through that process as well in detail. So yeah, I just feel like, you gave us that, I keep saying blueprint, but that really is what it was, the roadmap. And it's just about following it. And it also, like I said earlier, is very digestible. So you can kind of take the information in and take those steps in the time that works for you, which for me is often quiet time or after bedtime or these weird hours in the day. It doesn't really matter when you do it as long as it's happening. And you kind of have it designed as such that even if you can't make a live call, you still can do all these steps and be a part of this community and take advantage of all the resources. I hope that answers that question.
Yes, I absolutely love that. So, what would you say to someone who is considering joining the membership?
Yeah, I mean, I would just say, like, just go for it. Just do it. Um, I think that if you are feeling any and all of the frustrations that I was experiencing with relying on social and feeling kind of, at not really feeling like you have control of your own destiny, control of your own business, this is a way to put a lot more of that control into your own hands. It's about the effort that you put into it and you put out there. And it's really reliant more on that than it is on anything else. So me feeling like, okay, this is going to be, all about just what I'm willing to do and what I can take on and what I can put out there, as opposed to, hey, I'm putting all that stuff out there, but no one's seeing it, was really appealing. So I think if you're feeling any of that, and I think a lot of us do, that this is for you. And also if you're if you're like me and you are a parent who is juggling all the parts of being a parent with running your business, and you're just looking for more things that allow you that flexibility that we need in order to make that juggle happen, I feel like this membership is also for you, because you can not only can you take in the information in your own time, but these are ways that you can grow without even needing to be on at a specific time, doing something at a specific time. You can make this work for you and grow your business and grow your customer base while you're sleeping, while you're doing that school or camp pickup, like while you're, outside playing with your kids. And that, I think, is really, really appealing, especially for moms like us that are making all of this happen, but most importantly, want to be present as moms. And I feel like that was why I started my business as opposed to being in the classroom, because I wanted to have the flexibility to be able to do this work I love, but also be home in these formative years with my daughter. And then I was feeling like I'm not even able to do that all the time in the way I want to, because if I don't post at this time, or if I don't get this up in this moment, then I'm not going to be able to see, people are not going to know about what I'm doing. I'm not going to be able to grow my business, whatever. So I just feel like it was almost taking away from what I was trying to do when I started this. And I think you're giving the tools now that are allowing me to do what I intended to do, which is have this business and support families and do this work that I love and am so passionate about, but do it in a way that allows me to be fully present with my daughter when she is here and awake. So I'm so grateful for that. I think if any of that I said resonated with you, you should 100% join.
Yes, I absolutely love that. And I love how you said it best. Like, you put that control back in your hands and you have that stability, you have that predictability and
Yes,
whatnot, and which we need that as moms. Like, things
we
can
really
be a
do.
little chaotic with the
We really
kids. You
do.
don't know what's gonna, what mood they're gonna be
That's
in and
right. That's
whatnot.
right.
And so if you
That's
can
right.
have that predictability in your business, it makes a world of a difference.
Such a difference. And just to feel like, okay, like now at least I know there's something that I can take into my own hands here. There's so much we can't, as you said,
Yes.
especially as moms. So feeling like I can do that has been really helpful and just confidence building.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you so, so much just for sharing your thoughts and your experience
Yeah,
as
of
being a
course.
member of the Social Media Detox Club. Please share where listeners can connect with you.
Yeah, so you can learn more about how to work with me one-on-one, my monthly membership, and my podcast by visiting my website, www.jillybeansnyc.com. And also, if you're feeling social media, if no pressure, you can find me at jillybeansnyc on Instagram.
All right. Thank you so much, Jill.
Thank you.
Well, Mama, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to hang with me. If you enjoyed today's episode, will you do me a favor and follow the podcast and leave a review? Hitting that follow button and sharing your thoughts about the podcast are the best ways to ensure that other mamas like you find this show. Your review also lets me know if you're enjoying this podcast, so make sure to share your thoughts before you go. All right, Mama, I'll catch you in the next episode.